Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal for a special episode of Inside Arsenal Extra Time with myself and James Benge of CBS Sports. How you doing, mate? All good?
I'm really well. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Second time this week we've sat down to record one of these. I must flag up to everyone watching and listening. This isn't your usual Extra Time episode. This is being pre-recorded quite a way in advance that I'm going to put this episode out while I'm on holiday, and I will be leaving for holiday very, very soon by the time I'm recording this. And just so there's some content going out while I'm away, we've pre-recorded this one. I mean, we're not talking about like the news of the day or anything like that like we usually do. This is
unless we can predict it in advance.
Yes, this is just purely a 2025-26 season predictions special, where we're both going to get everything horrendously wrong, so that in 12 months' time, you can all come back to us and laugh and point your fingers and say how wrong we are. I am going to record our answers to this, by the way, so we can revisit it at the end of the season just to see how wrong we were. So, we'll have another Crystal Palace top 4 prediction, I'm sure, from you this season, or something suitably as crazy as that. Although they did go on to win the FA Cup.
They did, but not playing the Europa League. Although, again, who knows by now?
Who knows by now? Exactly. I mean, Arsenal. Well, who we going to have had through the door? Let's say we're recording this about 2 weeks before it goes out.
Yeah.
So Madueke might have been announced. Gyökeres might have finished his house move. Who knows? Rodrigo or Eze might be the talk of the town by the time we're actually putting this one out. But can't look into our crystal balls, can we? So we are just going to do predictions wise. So should we get cracking?
Let's get into it.
Well, we've got to start with a big one.
Oh,
haven't we? Really, Premier League. So we'll do where we think Arsenal are going to finish. We'll do top 4. We'll do points tally for Arsenal, and we'll do relegation. Sound good?
Sounds good. Start with the one that's going to make our viewers most unhappy with me.
Okay. Well, I'm guessing I know your answer is here. So where do you think Arsenal are going to finish this season in the Premier League?
Second
again, LA.
It's going to be unbearable.
Don't say who's going to be champions yet.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to sort of talk around it. So I won't say too much beyond the fact that I don't really think, like, as we understand it when we're recording and we're expecting the business that's been done, I don't think that Arsenal could have done much more and could have done much better with the situation they were in. I just think there's one team that's better. And I don't think it will, again, we'll come on to sort of talk about the bigger layout of the Premier League, but I think it'll be close. That's all I'll say. What about you?
I'm going champions. I think this is the year. I think this is the year Arsenal do it. I really do. I like the summer business. I like the look of the squad. Obviously, at the time of recording this, we're recording it before Gyökeres has been signed. Hopefully, that has been done by the time everyone's watching and listening to this, and Arsenal have actually got the striker in. I'm sure they will have done. I'm hoping there'll be another, Stardust type player added between now and the end of the window as well. And I know Liverpool are going to be ridiculously strong again this season, but I just feel like the hunger is going to be there, the desire is going to be there. This group of players know they've got to do it. They don't want to split up before they've without achieving anything. And I just think that desire and that quality, to be honest, I think it's going to drive Arsenal through. So I am predicting the Premier League title is going to be coming back to Arsenal for the first time since 2004.
I really hope you're right. I really do.
So what points tally do you think Arsenal are going to get?
This is what I mean about it being close. 92.
Wow, you've gone higher than me, and I'm saying Arsenal are going to win it. I've got 89.
I think the champions will get 93 or 94. That's the level I think it's going to be at. I think right now there are 2 teams that I sort of have in a little bracket of their own, and I think they're going to be really good this season. So that is also, I mean, like, for me, it's a 55-45, if that, 52-48 split. And, another day or two, I could swing in the opposite direction as I talk around the team that I bet everyone knows is who I think is going to win the league, but we will get there. So you went 89. Is that just the resonance?
Yeah, so just the number. I like 89 for obvious reasons. No, I think Chelsea are going to be good this season. I think City are going to be miles better than this season. I just don't. I'm not sure we're going to see someone break the 90 point. I think people are going to drop points, quite a few points. I mean, Liverpool were great last season, obviously, but what did they get? They got 84 in the end, something like that. And I know because they won the league, so they sort of tailed off at the end of the season when they didn't have anything to play for. But yeah, I'm just going 89. I think it'll be a good points tally, but it's not going to be close to a sort of record-breaking points tally. So 89. Right, go on then. Top four.
Yeah, obviously Liverpool first. And I said 92 for Arsenal, so I would genuinely have it at a 93, 94 for Liverpool. City third. I'm not crazy about a lot of the deals they've done other than Ryan Cherky. And I think if Rodri comes back and he's immediately Rodri, then it looks like a 3-horse title race, doesn't it? But for me, I think that City team's not going to be as good as it was when it was going toe to toe with Arsenal. And then I would have, and I think we're going to have the same top four, just in a slightly different order. I'd have Chelsea fourth. I'm really intrigued as to whether the Club World Cup's going to hinder them. I mean, it was like literally 5 weeks between that final and their opening game against Crystal Palace. I can't imagine that players aren't going to be tired, even with that ginormous squad they have. I think, the key players are going to be tired. And so I think they'll be nearer a pack of like Chelsea, Newcastle, maybe Villa. Of course, Crystal Palace will be in the mix, as we all know. But yeah, I think that's my top four.
I'm really intrigued with the Club World Cup and Chelsea in terms of when we might see it have an impact. I don't see it being an impact at the start of the season. It might even be a help at the start of the season because they're kind of they'll all go away now for about 3 weeks. They'll come back. They'll have a very short preseason, but they're not going to have been. They're still going to be quite sharp, you would imagine, because it's not been that long since they've stopped playing. So I think they might start the season really well, but you would think, even with that squad that they've got, that it must have an impact later on in the season. It must, surely. So I'm intrigued by that. So my top four, obviously Arsenal, I've gone top. Liverpool, obviously second, and then I'm the same as you in terms of third and fourth. I think City will go close with Arsenal and Liverpool this season. I know they, in the end they actually went quite close to Arsenal last season.
Yeah.
But I would be. I don't see them having another season like last season. I think they will be strong, consistently strong throughout. A lot depends on Rodri, as you pointed out. If Rodri is ready to go at the start of the season, he's not really showing many ill effects from that long layoff and the knee injury. If he gets anything close back to being what he was before, then I think they're going to be incredibly good once again.
And I suspect the Man City pods and the Liverpool pods are saying about Arsenal, similar things, probably about Ødegaard and to an extent Saka, and saying if they're back to the players they were, is there any stopping Arsenal? I think it's going to be really interesting between those three teams, and you almost wonder if the sort of top four mini league could be Arsenal's secret weapon, because they're really good against their direct rivals.
Yeah, they are. You do wonder if that sort of longevity of how long that run can go. Don't you?
And what happens when it stops?
Yeah, each season you're like, can they really continue to do that? I mean, hopefully they can. But so yeah, I've got Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea. I just think those four are they're gonna be too strong this season. I wonder with Newcastle. Obviously, it was great for them to get Champions League football, but I do wonder with Newcastle. We saw it last time they were in the Champions League, the impact that had on them. I wonder what it will do this time around, even with keeping Alexander Isak. Right.
If that's happened, we could look very foolish.
That is very true. Yes.
Sounds like it has when we're recording.
Again, at the time of recording, it looks like they are keeping Alexander Isak, and Ekitike is going to Liverpool. Okay, so sort of rounding off the Premier League, just on the relegation, the bottom three, I have gone Sunderland, Burnley, Brentford.
I mean, I think we both agree that there's like two locks in there, aren't there? I feel a bit sad.
I would be stunned if Sunderland and Burnley don't go down.
I think it's almost a shame for Sunderland fans. Well, I think we as a Premier League, I think I'd got to the stage where I was starting to miss Sunderland. but they could probably have done with two more years before it was like, oh God, it'd be great to have Sunderland back in the Prem.
I don't think they were ready to come up, Sunderland.
Exactly.
I think they've come up too early.
Yeah. It might be good for them, become a team a bit like Burnley that bounces up and down. I'm not fancy Burnley. And then I had like a group of 4 that included Brentford as the other team. So Brentford, Leeds, Wolves, and West Ham. I'm quite skeptical about West Ham. I'm gonna put West Ham.
West Ham going down. Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine the London Stadium after a relegation season?
In the Championship.
Yes.
We might get a Leighton Orient derby there.
That West Ham Central account on Twitter would be fun to keep tabs on if that was going to be the case. I just think with Brentford, obviously, they've lost such key figures. I mean, literally the day we're recording this, they've just agreed a fee of Man United for Mbeumo.
Yeah.
Whether they end up keeping Vista because of that, I don't know. But Vista's been linked again at the time of recording this heavily with other clubs. They've lost Norgard, the captain, to Arsenal. They've lost Thomas Frank, the manager, to Spurs, and brought in Keith Andrews. Experience at this level, management. No, I worry for Brentford. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want them to go down, mainly because they're the closest team to me, which is the shortest journey to go to work every single weekend. I love it when we've got Brentford away. It's just a very short journey for me. But I do fear for them this season. I do wonder if this might be the year that they end up going back down.
I'd have them like 17th as well.
I think Leeds stay up. I think Leeds stay up this year. I think they'll right.
I think if Leeds can't stay up, I don't know what you would do to fix it, but the Premier League and the EFL need to then sit down and work out what's not working here. Because if that Leeds team can't survive, it's just going to become a forever sort of every good team in the Championship is going to be like that. Those West Brom teams of the early 2000s, aren't they? They'll be bouncing back and forth. Like, it's really important for football that Leeds survive. And I know there'll be an awful lot of our viewers, especially of a certain vintage, who are firmly of the view that it would be very good for football if Leeds don't stay up. But yeah, if that team can't stay in the Premier League, I don't know how you fix promotion at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hate Ellen Road with a passion when it comes to work. I can't stand it. I hate the journey. And I don't like the press room and the press box, but it's a brilliant stadium. It's a great stadium, amazing atmosphere, brilliant place to watch football. But for purely work purposes, I can't stand it. I always do my best to miss Leeds away. Dating back from my days working as a Reading reporter, even then I used to absolutely hate it. So, but I think they'll be all right this season, Leeds. I'd be very surprised if they go down. Okay, so those are our Premier League predictions. Actually, I said I was going to write these down. I haven't done. Yeah, so I will. I'll do this. Shall write it down afterwards rather than tap it away. Yeah. What was your points tally, by the way, for Arsenal?
Did I say 92? I'll say 92. Yeah.
92. Okay. So I've got Arsenal champions. You've got Arsenal second. I've gone 89 points for Arsenal. You've gone 92. Top 4, I've got Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea. You've gone Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea. Relegated, I've gone Sunderland, Burnley, and Brentford. You've gone Sunderland, Burnley, and
West Ham.
That was it. Cool. Right. Champions League. Where are Arsenal going? You go first. Where do Arsenal?
They're going to win it.
Is that you're predicting Arsenal winning Champions League?
Yeah.
Fair play. I'm going semi-finals again.
You've got a sort of clutch of teams, haven't you? You've got PSG, Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern. I mean, PSG are probably the rightful favourites. But I do think Arsenal tick all the sort of boxes you have of Champions League winners, don't they? The defence is great. And, if they just put the ball in the net against PSG, they had every chance of winning that tie. Like, everyone thinks Mikel Arteta is mad in what he said, but there's a kernel of truth in Arsenal did enough to beat the best team in Europe. So, yeah, I believe. And you and I know, disagree on this, but it's always been the one that sort of excited me a bit more from an Arsenal perspective.
Yeah, I know.
I'd rather, with a sort of fan hat on, I'd rather end the wait for the Champions League than get the Premier League title again.
I would absolutely say that. If Arsenal won the Premier League within the last sort of 5 years or whatever, I would say that. But it's just been so long. It's been so long. I just want to be the best team in England again. And I still think that's a tougher task than winning the Champions League. It
is.
So I think I've gone semi-final again for Arsenal. My focus is on the domestic scene this season for them. I think they'll go deep in the competition again, but I think it might just come a little bit short. So semi-final, I have gone.
We might as well say then, if you're not picking them to win, who would you pick to win?
I just think PSG are better than everyone else at the moment. I know they've just got absolutely hammered by Chelsea in the Club World Cup final, but let's face it, that means absolutely nothing. We're intrigued to see what PSG do in the transfer market this summer.
Been quiet.
Yeah, been quiet. They're trying to sign, what's his name? This Bournemouth centre back, haven't they? But they haven't managed to get
Benge.
Yeah, Benge, but they haven't managed to get him through the door yet. But I'm intrigued to see what they do. Do they go for do they bring in a big centre forward in the summer? I know Dembele's been having a lot of success playing there, but I'm intrigued to see how they sort of cement their position as European champions. Liverpool's certainly done that in the Premier League with the business they've done. I wonder if PSG are going to
a world-class Parisian centre back.
No, they don't need them. They can go and raid Bournemouth for a centre back. They're not. That's their job done. That's their job done. Okay, so right, we'll go back to domestic football now and the cups. How do you think Arsenal are going to do in either of the domestic cups?
I think because they will be in the thick of things in the Premier League and the Champions League, and this is just what happens. I think they will get to the 5th round of the FA Cup and be knocked out by probably Newcastle. And we'll go deep in the EFL Cup, let's say semi-finals. I mean, no, final.
So they're going to lose the final?
Oh, it feels worse to predict that. No, I'll go semi-finals. Don't want to ruin anyone's day that's watching, because I predict that Arsenal lose the league by a point and get beaten at Wembley.
Okay. See, I have got, and I don't know if this is cheating. You're going to have to call me on this if it's cheating. I haven't listed which one, but I've just said Arsenal will win a domestic cup.
I'll allow that.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, I'll allow.
Okay.
and of course, I'm certain what will happen based on, I mean, obviously your predictions, they'll win the Premier League anyway, so it's fine. But presumably the minute that they win that EFL Cup, let's say it's the EFL Cup, everyone will stop saying Mikel Arteta needs to win a trophy, won't they? That'll immediately go away.
Well, the huge pressure release of winning a trophy in February or March, whenever the cup is, certainly might help in the league. But I don't know which one it would be. That's it, because I'm not sure how seriously. Well, the thing is, with the squad building they've done in the transfer market, they've got a very good sort of League Cup team, even if they change a lot, haven't they, this season? You would think, anyway. So maybe I'll say they'll win the League Cup.
That's my theory. Yeah, they'll go pretty deep.
Yeah. Okay. I'll change that. Rather than sitting on the fence, I'll say Arsenal will win the League Cup. Won't win the FA Cup, but they'll win the League Cup. So I'm going for not the big double, but a domestic double for Arsenal this season.
Yeah, that will be all right.
Take it, mate. I would absolutely take that if you offered that to me right now.
I get Emirates Cup right now. I'm that starved of football.
The Emirates Cup is a bigger thing, tougher thing to win than the Conference League. Honestly, Chelsea's still celebrating the Conference League. I mean, honestly, it's a bigger achievement to win the Emirates Cup.
There is higher grade opposition, isn't there?
Yeah, but it is. Who did Arsenal beat in the final at the Emirates Cup? Well, the final, there's only one game last season. It was Lyon, wasn't it?
Lyon.
I still back that over any team that Chelsea beat in that ridiculous.
Not Shamrock Rovers.
The fact that they tried to use that to rub it in Arsenal's face, it still winds me up. Okay, so we've done domestic cups. We're going to move on to sort of individual things now. Top Arsenal goal scorer. Now, again, we're recording this before has been confirmed. And touch wood, absolutely nothing has oh God! So I just checked Twitter then. And I've just seen an update saying, "Understand, Nicholas Jackson is on the shortlist for Manchester United." And I just see Chelsea player linked with someone, and it brings me out in chills. But it's not Arsenal, no. So I'm presuming here that Victor Gyökeres is done and dusted. He's made it on the plane to Asia at some point to link up with the squad on pre-season, and he's very much an Arsenal player. So my top scorer for Arsenal this season, I'm going Victor Gyökeres. Which isn't exactly sticking my neck out on the line, but that's what I'm going for.
Hey, if you're bringing these up again at the end of the season, it's more important to not look stupid than it is to look clever. So I'm with you. I'm glad you haven't made me put a number on this. I don't think it will be really high because whether it's Gyökeres or Havertz as the starting centre forward, I think Arsenal are going to do what they do and spread the goals really well. So I'd go for sort of Victor Gyökeres in the 25 across all competitions sort of range.
Okay, I'll give a number as well. So across all comps, I will go 27.
Yeah.
Which I'd be
good,
more
not
than happy
incredible.
with. I'd be more than happy if Victor Gyökeres came in. I think if Victor Gyökeres comes in and scores 27 goals in all competitions for Arsenal, they definitely win something this season. That's what I would say. I think they would definitely win something this season because there will be goals, plenty of goals elsewhere on top of that. So, so we've both gone Gyökeres on the top goal scorer. Should we do a prediction then? Now, this is off the cuff. Who plays more minutes this season in the Premier League, Kai Havertz or Victor Gyökeres?
You know, I've like bounced back and forth on just my view of Gyökeres. I find it really hard.
Havertz could play multiple positions, but when you answer,
yeah, and still, I think in the end, it'll be Gyökeres. He'll lead the line quite a lot. I think it might be sort of in October. He's still not starting yet, but like a moment will come and it will click and he'll fly. Or it might just be that a tough run of form for Havertz comes. But yeah, I think Gyökeres will play. We'd stick into Premier League or all comps?
This was Premier League, I said.
Premier League, yeah. I'll go Gyökeres then, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll just about go Gyökeres. I think Havertz will play more in all comps, but I think in Premier League, I think Gyökeres. Okay, so most assists. I think this one's probably going to be pretty easy to answer.
Yeah, I nearly picked him for top scorer as well, but I was like, don't be clever. But Bukayo Saka.
Yep, I agree. Sorry, I'm just watching Scotty Scheffler in the Open on my right, just distracted me there. I agree. On Saka then, quickly, going back to goals, how many does Saka score 20 plus goals in all comps this season? Provided he stays fit, of course.
I think I said this on the last show we recorded, was like July the 15th-ish. I think he'll get to 30 goals and assists combined, clear that.
Who takes the penalties if Gyökeres signs?
Oh, Gyökeres, surely.
I think so.
Destroys.
He's very good at penalties.
And again, a little clue as to when we're recording this. If Sweden had Victor Gyökeres or Victor Gyökeres' sister in that penalty shootout last night, I don't think the penalties would have been quite as calamitous as they were. Gyökeres.
That was the worst penalty shootout I've ever seen.
Ever.
Genuinely the worst penalty shootout. I was throwing things at the TV, like the fourth time in a row that an England player just sort of gently rolled one towards the corner. Thank God for Lucy Bronze coming up and just Stuart Pearce in it. It was like, thank you, Lucy. Someone just do that. But we digress, obviously. So what were we talking about then? Oh yeah, Gyökeres penalties. Yeah, because if Saka's not taking penalties, does he get to 20? Would he get to 20 goals in all comps? Oh,
no, I think he'll be a sort of 13 goals and 17 assists split. Okay. Like if it was 30, I think it would probably be like 20 assists in all comps and 13 goals. That sort of level.
Yeah. No, I would go along with that, and I agree. I think Gyökeres, for me, it might again, kind of like you were saying there, by October he might not be starting that much and all that sort of stuff. But I think by the end of the season, I think Gyökeres has got to be on pens. Saka's not bad at penalties by any means.
No.
And I was listening to, I think it was James on Arscast was talking about this a while back, and he still never quite feels absolutely convinced Saka's going to score a penalty. And I'm like that. I don't know if it's just scar tissue from Italy and all that, and you kind of just worry. But I
think it's that you worry. That's my theory about this, because my experience of it is always like, I've not known a fan base care like on a personal level about a footballer in quite the way that Arsenal. I know that every fan base has their heroes, but like the meaning that Arsenal fans imbue in Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of like fear of things going wrong for Bukayo that is mixed with a real trust and a belief that he deserves better always, whatever's happening, like that Arsenal fans want better for Bukayo. Yeah. So I think it's fear of of it going badly for him, and like
Yeah.
a deep care in it for him.
Yeah. And just watching Gyökeres's penalty, the one in the cup final last season, where it's in like the 100th minute.
Yeah.
And to take a penalty like that in the 100th minute, to take it to extra time and keep your team in it, and to strike a ball like that, I just thought, wow, that's a guy who has total conviction and confidence in his ability from the penalty spot. So yeah, I'd be giving pens to Gyökeres. Okay, let's move on again. Player of the season.
Can you go first?
Noni Madueke.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Bukayo Saka.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. There's so many candidates. Like I could think of about 6 players who wouldn't just be Arsenal's player of the season, but could very easily be like PFA player of the season. But yeah, I think it'll be Saka.
I just think it has to be Saka. I mean, you go back to last season. If Saka hadn't got that injury, he was the most obvious player of the season. And I know a lot of people didn't play that well last season, and there was injuries and all that sort of stuff. But still, when Saka's fit, when he's playing, he's Arsenal's best player. He just is. So yeah, fingers crossed he stays fit. And I think that's a given. He'll get player of the season, especially as you said as well, as that deep caring. The fact that he even got in the top 3 this season, I think, shows how easy it is, I think, for him to get in the top 3. So much as I love Saka, I know he was brilliant the first half of the season. I still think it was pretty mad that he managed to get in the top 3. Breakout star. I was just looking at what I'd written down there. And breakout star of the season. I mean, last year I think we all probably thought it would definitely be Ethan at the start of the season. It ended up being Miles, didn't it? So, I mean, there's only really one person in my mind that it could be right now, and obviously that's Max Dowman if he gets some minutes. Because you look at the squad and you look at the players that they've brought in, I don't really see another situation developing where someone like Miles could sort of come in and do what Miles did, if you see what I mean. So I imagine it's sort of Dowman or no one.
And there's also this strange thing of like, there are not even going to be that many players on the fringes of the squad that we're like, oh, don't know about it. Like there's not going to be you could have sort of said, actually, I'm going to say this will be Jakub Kiwior last season because I really believe in him, and I think Gabriel will get injured and he'll get a run of games and he'll surprise us all. And I know I pitched this one to you and I said I was going to just say no one, but I've changed my mind. Noni Madueke. I think Noni Madueke will be. I think he'll go to the World Cup at the very least off the back of his form with Arsenal.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely go to the World Cup. I don't know.
I mean, that's but when you stop and think about it, that's quite a hard thing to achieve in this England squad.
It is, but I think something would have to go quite badly wrong for him not to go to the World Cup. I mean, he's very much probably second behind Saka in the pecking order for Tuchel at the moment, isn't he? Out wide, either on the right or on the left. Played on the left against Andorra, didn't he?
You got your Bowens and your Fodens and your Gordons.
Yeah,
and that lot. But I think he'll really positively surprise a lot of Arsenal fans.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Probably injured now as this goes out. He's probably not going to play this season.
Don't say that. Well, he's not going on the pre-season tour.
Yes.
So, but this is going out. I think they'll still probably be in Asia. I think when this goes out. So unless he's injured himself on the beach in Miami or wherever he is, then hopefully the Arsenal curse wouldn't have struck him just yet. Can you class Madueke in the breakout star category? Am I going to allow that? I feel like that should be a young player, but I think there's such limited options this season for that. Then yes, I will allow that. So okay, and I see exactly what you mean when you talk about it. Okay, so I think unless there's another one that you desperately want to discuss, this will be the last one. And maybe what you've just said could have gone into this. I don't know, maybe not. But wild Arsenal prediction of the season. So a random prediction that you think might come true. Go nuts.
Oh, I should have planned this one before. Have you got one?
I have got one.
Go on.
Ethan Nwaneri to go out on loan in January.
I've got one then too. And it's going to be very opposite to yours. Although they could both be true. And it sort of links to what I just said. Yeah, go on. I'll say it. Ethan Nwaneri to go to the World Cup.
Wow. He's going to have to play a lot of minutes to do that.
He might have to go out on loan.
Yeah. I'll give my reason now. I'm delighted he signed a new contract, by the way. Absolutely delighted he signed a new contract. But I just struggle to see, barring any injuries, obviously, and barring a massive, massive shift in how Mikel Arteta uses his squad, which I would like to see, but I'm just still not convinced because it's Mikel Arteta. I struggle to see where he gets the minutes to continue developing at the way he wants to, and that his team will want him to develop. And so I just wonder halfway through the season if they think, just for 6 months, this might be a good thing for him to go out, play somewhere, play really well, and then come back in the summer, because he's still so young. We forget he's still so young. So I just wonder if that's going to happen. I don't really want it to happen, but I do. When I look at the squad, I just wonder if it might be something that comes onto the radar and some club sort of takes a punt in January to see what Arsenal say, and Arsenal might actually say, yes, you can have him for 6 months.
And this is actually where I feel like people will think I was like saying no but to what you were saying, but I'm actually thinking it's more of a yes and. I think it feels really plausible, and then it feels quite compelling to me, the idea that he goes to a team like Borussia Dortmund so that he gets a little bit of experience playing top level, maybe Champions League football, and that he just takes to it like a duck to water. Thomas Tuchel looks at his squad and goes, you remember how Brazil and indeed Sven-Göran Eriksson would take someone to the World Cup because they think in 4 years' time, England will be better for this player having been to the World Cup. It's a wild prediction, and we when you give me license to do wild predictions, I tend to go off the deep end a bit. But yeah, Breakout 6 months at Dortmund. You know what the clamour is like then. You know what the clamour around the England camp would be if he is playing really well on loan. And then he goes to the World Cup. He doesn't play a minute while he's there, but why not?
We will see. Like I said, I'm going to take down these predictions, and we'll see at the end of in 12 months' time. Seems mad to say exactly how wrong we are, and I'm sure we're probably going to be very wrong. So what's your mad Crystal Palace prediction before we wrap this one up for this season? What are they going to do? Win the Conference League? I don't think that's going to be a mad.
Come 12th and win the Conference League.
Yeah, I think
if they win the Europa League, I might have gone mad and said, why wouldn't they win the Europa League?
Well, again, at the time of recording this, we don't know what their appeal is going to be when it comes to the Europa League. But I think as much as it's going to be annoying for them to be in the Conference League, they're obviously going to lose money out of it. I think they've got such a good chance of winning that competition that it might actually be beneficial to them. And to be fair, they've probably got a decent chance of winning the Europa League if they're in it as well. But I think they've definitely got a huge chance of winning the Conference League. So now how good would that be for them as well? So that's it. That's our predictions for 2025-26. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. It has been a bit of a different show, obviously, because of the fact I am away at the moment that you're watching this and listening to this. So just wanted to make sure there was some stuff going out for you while I was away. So thanks for that. Thanks for watching. James, thanks for joining me, as always. And roll the clock forward 12 months and let's see how wrong we are. Take it easy. See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.